Yes, we are on the flight path from Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. So, very often we have planes flying above us. Today in Ruai, it is so hot. So, I've run away from the house because I don't have any place that I'm going today. And I'm sitting outside because there's a cool breeze here. I've been working a bit on my garden, helping some seedlings that have been struggling because of the heat to make sure that the ground around them is covered a bit more. They're under a bit of more shade, their root system at least. Earlier, I had breakfast about, not breakfast, I had lunch about 2 hours ago. Yes, it's early afternoon. It's 2:34, and so I'm sitting outside. I'm watching my neighbor's house is being roofed, so I'm just sitting here watching how it goes. And because it's in my sight, as I sit out in the breeze, where are you watching from? Let me know where you're watching from, what country you are in. I'm in Kenya, those who don't know, and my name is Josephine. And I live in a place called Ruai on the outskirts of Nairobi. I come from magical Kenya, where we make things happen in an extraordinary way. So this was not scheduled. I've just thought, now that I'm outside and I'm not doing much, I might just go online, find out if somebody may be watching, if somebody may need to communicate with me, if somebody may need to ask me questions, whatever it is that you'd like to know. I'm here. I'm available. So let me know. The country you're watching from, what time it is. I know for East Africa we are GMT +3, so for us it's around 2 p.m. But depending on what continent you are in, it might be a different time. In this place where I'm sitting, I can see a lot of the sky towards the east, yeah, where the sun rises. And the clouds are wispish, cotton ballish, but very high clouds. There's two levels of cloud today. We have the lower clouds, the darkish ones, and then the ones that are a bit higher now are a bit more gray because it also there's a chill in the air, like it feels like it's going to rain. You know, before it rains, there's usually a lot of heat. So I can feel that in the air. And then another thing is that I'm watching. I see the mulberry tree. I have a mulberry tree in my compound, so that's what I'm watching. And we have electricity power lines running right across the front of my small back gate, and so I'm able to see a lot of birds. There's a lot of birds where I am because we have a very gigantic thorn tree not far from where I live. I've shown it in one of my videos previously. It's near where we have our local primary school, and that tree hosts a lot of the birds here. And then, of course, in people's compounds, the people who first settled here, the earlier residents of this area, have trees in their compounds, but the birds usually select to have trees, to have their nests on the thorn trees. The thorn trees are much safer. It's not that snakes can't go up in them, but the birds prefer them for one reason or another. I think the fruits or something. And so we have a lot of birds nesting there. That sound you hear is my neighbor. My neighbor has geese, and you know geese are very fierce, and they are also very loud. So they always do that cackling. Either they're being fed or when they see a stranger or when something disturbs them. So I can usually hear it from here where I am. I recently did my compound, increased the space. The space used to reach, you see where this, one of the plants that I've just covered, you see where this is, that's where the space just used to reach there, but I increased way back up to the back. And now I have this comfort. Before I couldn't have the luxury of sitting and feeling the wind on me like this, because the wind, if I wanted to feel the wind, I came out of the back gate and came to the outside bigger space. But now that I've not actually increased my compound, I've just increased the fence to reach the rightful place that our compound gets to. I live here primarily alone. A lot of times I'll have people staying here, whether it's relatives, sometimes it's friends, sometimes it's people from the society. If I'm hosting somebody, maybe they're escaping a GBV incident, or something has happened to them in the family, necessarily not GBV, but sometimes they may be going through a situation. So I'll invite them to come and stay with me, but just for a few days. Because I'm not a shelter, I'm not a registered shelter, I don't allow anybody to stay in my house for more than a week unless it's a relative. Yeah, what's your Saturday like? Right now it's begun cooling a bit. There's a bit more cloud cover now. In the morning, just like yesterday, it was absolutely plain sky. Like it was that hot. And when it gets like that, it's unbearably hot. But for us who are residents of where we are so used to it, it comes as no surprise at all. Yeah, so I'm here sitting and waiting for it to. Hi, who's this? Ethan Elham 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 Al 1881. Hello, thank you. I get your greetings. Thank you for the crown. Miguel Rocha Bondia. Oh, Bondia. That's Spanish. Thank you. I get your greeting. I appreciate. Bon dia to you too. Um, I know your hours right now are not morning like us, but I appreciate you coming on. In Kenya, we say habari yako, and habari yako has become a joke because I show speed chased a young boy while he was telling him habari yako, habari yako, habari yako. Yeah, let me sit facing the sun so that I can be a bit clearer. Don't worry about the noise. That's coming from that person there. Yeah, they are putting up some construction. That's my neighbor's house. And that's where the noise is coming from. Rasilia, thank you. Thank you. I see your greeting also. Hello, I appreciate it. What about the rest of you? I can see we have 11 to 14 people. Thanks for the likes. I appreciate it. I'm going to be turning 60 this year, and I'm so excited about it. A lot of people don't like to say their age. I don't know why women, feel like they should not say their age. I feel that you should only cheat your age if it matters, if it's going to cost you your life, if it is going to cost you your life, if you say your age. But if it's not going to cost you your life, why not tell people your age? It in some For some people it's going to bring a lot of respect. For some people, what's this again? Example. Thank you. Hello. Thank you for the like. I see you and welcome. Welcome very much. Yes, I'm saying that a lot of women like to hide their age. I don't. I am 59 years old. And some may say that maybe I say this because I maybe because I'm youthful. It's not that. From a long time, I've never seen the sense in hiding your age, or unless you have somebody whom you want to cheat your age. But for me, the most legit reason is that if you know that telling your age is going to put you in danger, maybe deny you work, cost you your life, or put you in some sort of danger, or your relatives or those you love. Otherwise, you should state your age. I see that nowadays men also lie their age. Yeah, when I'm in dating apps, I look at these old men who are saying that they're 35 years or they're 40 years. I'm like, oh my goodness, these are my age mates. Some of them are even older than me. But which is on, if that's what you want to do, so be it. You're welcome. Have you planted a tree this year? I'm calling on people to plant trees. It's very, very important to plant trees, not just because of the benefit, of course, of what we get wood. Um, some trees give us, yes, some trees give us what? Some trees give us spices. Yeah, some of the spices that we eat come from trees. Then we have fruits, of course. And then we have so much products that come from wood itself, toilet paper, paper itself. But for me, some of the biggest benefits is the fact that we prevent soil erosion, number one. Number two, that we get shade. Shade is very important. And number three, because of play. You know, children, if you have trees in your compound, like now I've planted trees, but there are not so many. And then you'll find that not all trees can be climbed by children, but fruit trees, there's something about fruit trees. A lot of the fruit trees, and especially for us in Kenya, I come from Ukambani, a place called Ukambani. That it's a very big area. It encompasses Machakos, Makueni, Kangundo, Tala, um, Kitui. It's a very huge area of that specific tribe. And we grow a lot of fruit trees. Actually, a long time ago, they never used to grow them. You'd just be eating and then you'd swallow the seeds and you shed them. And then Yal Kelba. Yael okay. Rather have lobster claws for hands. Oh, YouTube is giving me a very weird suggestion that I should ask you, would you rather have claws instead of hands? I'm not even accepting that. No, 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 of course not. So yes, so in Ukambani we had a lot of the trees were planted by default by people eating and then the seeds coming when you defecated on the way. And so for so many years, fruit trees were just all over, and then people would be traveling and they'd travel with fruits because it was easy to carry fruits. You carried them when they were not ripe. By the time you got where you were going or you were taken to as gifts, then the people threw in the gardens and they grew. And so fruit trees are very easy for children to play with. Climbing trees was a favorite pastime of me, for me also, when I was a child. So when you grow trees, you're helping in so many ways. And the fourth reason is because I believe trees give us healing. You see, when you're sick and you go somewhere that has a lot of trees, you feel better, even if you're not sick. Like in my compound, what I like about my compound right now, I live in a very modest house. That's my house. It's only 2 rooms. I'm not wealthy. And my compound doesn't have much. It just has a few I don't even have grass everywhere. You see, I don't even have grass everywhere. Some places are just patchwork on the ground, but I have trees. That is my wealth. I have trees. I can plant stuff under the shades. I can plant vegetables. I can plant like sweet potatoes. Right now it's not rainy season, but I want to keep the vegetable seed. So what I do is that I plant the sweet potato. So I plant it under these trees, and because there's a lot of shade, it will grow. If I want pumpkins, I just put them there. Then the ones that survive are the ones that I'm going to transplant later on. So in the same vein, when you plant trees, it's so healthy. Right now, you can see the people who are hugging trees for money. Of course, they are taking it to the nth level. But being around trees, when you're unwell or when you want to rest, and you put your back against a tree, you feel more rested. You feel much better. So there are so many benefits other than just the commercial ones for us to plant trees. And I would encourage you to plant trees. Tomorrow is Sunday. I know most of you will be going to Sunday. May you pray for us, for all of us. Today is Sabbath day for the people who are Seventh Day Adventists and which other religions around you pray on Saturday. I know I have friends who uh, exercise their Sabbath day today on Saturday. And for them, when it gets to Friday evening, the sun is too bright. When it gets to Friday evening at 6 o'clock, they have to stop cooking. They have to stop doing every work. In fact, they cannot even buy something in the shop. And if they own a shop or if they do any business, it has to be shut by 6 p.m. until 6 p.m. today on Sabbath. That's when they stop everything. Um, I'm an advocate of telling people that you should not get tied down by religion. It's very good to have religious regulations and rules, but they shouldn't tie you up so much in life that you can't do anything. Because I remember one time my friend who practices Sabbath on Saturday had an emergency. They had lost somebody, a family member, and then they were so caught up with having visitors and everything in the house, and it came to 6 o'clock and they were like, oh, we started cooking at 4. I hadn't known about their Sabbath regulations. And then on Friday at 3 o'clock, they told me if we have not cooked by 6 p.m., we're not going to do anything. We can't go to the shop to buy. And I was like, what in heaven's name? And so I just utilized every knowledge I have about fast cooking and made sure they had a meal before I left their house. But I went thinking, so what happens if I've been on a journey with the family? Maybe I have somebody who's ailing. Maybe I have a child and we were not able to do everything before 6. Is God going to punish you? Is that the testament of Jesus? No, 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 no. I think Jesus also showed us in so many ways that it is good to have regulations, but regulations should not tie you away from being human and doing what is godly good, not what is godly good by the regulations of um, the leaders in the church and within the religious societies and organizations, but in the eyes of God. But again, that is just my view. So I can see, I'm very grateful for those of you who've come in. I appreciate the likes, the crowns. That's so nice. I need to go in and do some work because I can see it's cooling now. The clouds have changed. Let me show you the sky over Ruai right now. Yeah, I get so fascinated with watching the sky. I just love it. I think if anybody entered and they found me when I was showing the sky, they're going to be like, who's this crazy person who's just putting on her profile? Nothing except a view of the sky. No, I love watching the sky. That's something that I'm so interested in. The clouds, the cloud formation. Um, it's part of our world, and why not? So I'm going to go in. There's some work that I need to do. It's now what time? I've been on for 16 minutes. I wanted to do 20 minutes. Maybe I might do 20 minutes just to tell you what else do I have to say. This year I'm hoping for so much to happen into my life, and I've planned for so much. I want to get into school or college to learn a trade. I'll say what trade it is later on. I'd also like to see development of our home. This is going to probably come within the middle of the year. Okay, I was seeing a branch. I thought it was a snake. It's going to come towards the middle of the year. Increase our home. That's the main door to my house. Then we have the living room and then my bedroom. So I'd like to add an extra 2 bedrooms and the kitchen, expand the kitchen. We moved here when it was COVID, so we didn't have much of a choice, and we've improved the home gradually. You see, I also painted the door just when yesterday in a shelf, and I painted the main gate also yesterday. I love orange. I love, 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 love orange. And I'd like to see more developments. The window of my bedroom is here, but I'd like it to go on the other side facing the sun, so that if I want to have an afternoon nap, or if I have somebody who's unwell in the house, or if I want to just listen to the birds most of the morning, because we are going to close this space later on with a room, then I can do that from my bedroom. What suggestions can you give me about house development? You let me know. I like the plans of houses from the 70s and the 80s. The layout, the space, the wider corridors, the big, tall windows. I don't like windows reaching down because in Kenya we have to put consideration of security very much. But I like windows that reach at least waist high, where you can sit on the ledge of the window when you're inside the house. I like that. Having a bench on the window is something so nice. And I keep on thinking, of course, about my grandchildren and even my children. They have very playful spirits. So I'd like them to be able to sit on the window ledge when they're at home, this home, not their own home. Yeah. So that, just to relax, look outside. I can imagine many times they'll be here with friends. They already come here so many times with friends. But I'd like when they have more space, when they're in their own space, to have as much fun as is possible. Those are the considerations I make. Me, I could live in a hall if possible, but it would be a beautiful, spacious hall with a lot of light. But at my age now, when I'm creating things, when I'm making things, I want to make them better for the future, for the coming generation. I've been there, done that. I've enjoyed a lot of things in my life, and now I'd like other people to enjoy a taste, to get a taste of what I've enjoyed also in my life. So I'm going to close this here and go inside. May God abundantly bless you. and guide you and protect you. And please subscribe to my channel. Please tell your friends about it. Go and look at my playlists. And from Nairobi, in Ruai of magical Kenya, it's bye bye. Okay, I don't know how to close this.